Welcome to EquestrianCoach.com. I'm George Morris, and this is Adriana, owned by Holger Hetzel from Germany. The horse is from Germany. Chestnut mare, she's 7, about 16, 1 or 2, very much a blood type horse. Very sensitive, beautiful eye, beautiful big ear. I love this mare. First, I come to the horse with the equipment I like, and that is a proper jumping stick. This would be average, maybe a little on the short side for a jumper, but it's very good. I've won the Grand Prix in Calgary and Aachen with that whip. I have a decent spur with her. She's quiet. I have a soft spur, but a longer spur. I have Premier Butte saddle, which I like very much. It's very flat. I don't like a lot of knee roll. I like to be in the horse. Vogel boots. Pegasus hunt cap. I like my equipment. My favorite bit is a full cheek, not very fat, not very thin, regulation snaffle, jointed snaffle. I like the full cheek because that works against the face of the horse, acts as a bearing rein, and helps turn, and it prevents a bit to go through the horse's mouth. I particularly like full cheek bits. I don't care if they're in the keeper or not. And I work horses always on a smooth snaffle. I don't ever use draw reins. I haven't had a pair of draw reins in about 50 years. I don't believe in them physically for the horse. She's properly booted up, and we'll start working her. I'll start working her on a soft, long rein, and my first interest is that she think forward, that the horse think forward, and as I say, she's quite quiet, so if I think forward and she doesn't quite think forward, I just touch with both spurs, and that's the lesson of the leg. That I think leg and she responds to leg. And if she doesn't respond to the leg, just a little touch to get her super light to the leg. So first I have this forward impulsion walk, quite loose, quite a long, loose rein. And I'll start here on a figure of 8 half turns and teaching her the turning aid, which is inside leading effect, inside leading rein. And this is an older horse, so I can combine that with an outside neck rein. My inside leg at the girth keeps the impulsion and the bend. My outside rein controls the shoulder. So I'm starting with this active horse in walk and teaching her very early in the ride turn, but not collected, not tight, just getting control of her shoulder and her hind quarter. It's all about the horse's feet, not so important about the neck of the horse. It's about the horse's feet, that I control her feet, I control her shoulder, I control her haunch. Now I'll take contact. I'll shorten up very carefully, take contact, close my fingers, and take a definite yet supple contact with the horse's mouth. If the horse evades the contact by shaking her head, I maintain the contact. I close my fingers. I slightly raise my hand. When the horse doesn't accept the hand, I raise it, close the fingers a little, equal pressure both sides of the horse's mouth. And what's important of the contact is to push the horse into the bit, to push the horse into the frame, to push the horse into the contact. When the horse raises up, goes above the bit, absolutely don't lower the hand. The horse you have to teach can't escape the hand by getting higher than the hand. So that's my method. I stay in line with the horse's mouth. Now I'll take definite contact and start my trot work. And if this horse looks at something, it's very nice. She's not a dirty, spooky horse. She just is an interested horse and looks very, very interested in her environment. I'll start those little half turns. I go close to that fence, and if she looks at that fence, a little inside leg. She looks at that fence, a little counter inside leg, indirect rein, counter the spook. But it's a very sweet spook. I'll start with this simple transition, for example, trot walk. Now, this horse, I just think it, and she goes backward, because she's very, very quiet. I just think it, I steal the seat, and she comes backward. Now, right here, the problem is she's not staying in front of me in the transition, so I have to be there with my legs. As I go backward, I have to keep my legs, that she stay like that in front of my legs. Good. Legs. Legs first. Not to drive her, but to keep her here. Keep her here, that she doesn't fall behind. The horse should never be ever behind the legs. I make that quite brief, that walk step. I make quite brief and go forward again in trot, so she's really listening to my legs. You'll see in posting trot, the upper body has to be forward. It is light trot. Posting trot, the purpose of posting trot is to lighten up for the horse and rider and make it easier. And the body has to be well forward over the center of gravity. Not back here where you're crushing the horse's loins. That'll hollow the horse, but in balance, so I can easily do this. Balance. As I progress through the ride, the trot becomes more active, more positive, active trot, and a very constant rhythm. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. No matter how short, how fast, how slow, I have to keep that rhythm. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. That sense of rhythm. Halt. Keep her in front of you in the halt. Horse always has to be in front, and I'll rein back a few steps, and when I feel that flexion, that's resistance, I feel that, I release. When I feel any give in the horse, I release. We'll do a few rein backs. Release. Close your fingers, close your leg, release. Close your fingers, close your legs, release, release. Keep the horse straight with your right leg here. When she puts her haunch to the left, good, good. Horse has to crack up straight where his haunch is in back of his shoulder is in front of his haunch, his right hind, right front, left hind, left front, on a circle or a straight. The horse has to be straight. Now to get straightness, we put the horse not straight, put your shoulder forward, shoulder in, shoulder out. And the horse in, shoulder forward, shoulder out, in, is bent opposite the direction of movement. You'll see the horse is bent slightly left and the horse is moving to the right. That's fundamental to shoulder in or shoulder out. If the horse resists the bit, I raise my hands, close my fingers, and softly push the horse to the bridle. Shoulder in. And you have to block in the shoulder in with the outside rein. This horse overbends her neck in the shoulder in. So I block that with the outside rein, that she doesn't escape the legs with the neck bending. Now I interrupt that and go forward in a different trot, which is lengthening, not extension, not yet extension, but lengthening of the horse's stride. Now this direction, I'll do it a little different. Watch there, right there in that step where she fell behind me. I'll do a little, this direction, a little haunches forward, haunches in, haunches out. And this, the horse is bent in the direction of movement. And what's important about this is mobilizing the hind quarter, getting the hind quarter supple and reactive. Haunches out, watching the haunches in, haunches out the horse's shoulder, that the horse doesn't try to lead with the shoulder. That you're making the hind quarter dance behind, and you'll see the horse will start to come under behind. Keep the flexion, keep the bend in the direction of the haunch. The horse is looking at his haunch. Interrupt that and go forward. More extension, bigger. If the horse is stiff on the left, I make a little take, flexion to the left or the right. If the horse is supple in his mouth. You interrupt this lateral work with very positive and straightforward work. The horse go forward to the bit. Keep her in front. Keep her in front. Because that's a little habit she's acquired in the downward transition where she falls behind my legs. Break, a little break, but I keep the contact. When she starts that head shaking, push her to the contact. Don't pull her to the contact. Push her to the contact And what's important is your hands are here and quite symmetrical, quite even, fingers lightly closed. Don't, when she avoids the contact, drop the position. She has to accept the position of your hand. And take the bit and stretch. Stretch. Very important canter depart. That's the first exercise of the canter. And this horse, I want to ask for the canter with my inside leg of the girth. My outside leg is back, but rather secondary. With this horse, I'm very careful with the outside rein that she doesn't overbend. Because a horse, she overbends to the inside. That she step in like that from the inside leg. Walk, outside rein. Now here, keep the outside rein. Just a touch of a flexion to the inside and step. Now the seat is fixed. Pay particular attention to my seat. My seat bone is in the front of the saddle, close to the pommel. And what's important is my back. My back is supple, yet very arched. Right here, this is the power. Right here, this is the power. Your back. That goes through your seat bone, and that gives the signal to the horse and is the power. As I stop and start, my seat bone fixes and I stretch my spine. Now this is counter, this is counter. This is a counter exercise. And you'll see her shoulder goes to the left. So I bring her shoulder to the right and step in. The horse mustn't escape through the shoulder leaning. Now bring her shoulder in and then step in, like that. You have to watch this horse, that she is self in front of the leg, that I don't have to push. If I have to push, I'll give that little touch with my spur, that she is self-active. Yes, there's a slight flexion to the left. There's a slight flexion of the leading leg, but not overbent. Half turn in reverse, and a little shoulder in canter. This is more difficult than in the trot. Good, that was a good one. Also a good one. I'll make it here volte in counter canter. You'll see I keep the neck quite straight. Just the head of the horse is flexed a little to the right, not the neck. Volte, counter, canter. And here, change my legs. Flying change. Just change your legs. Make the horse super straight. Keep the inside left leg, right leg back, and keep the shoulders out. The horse doesn't fall on his inside shoulder. First, make the horse straight, new inside right leg, new outside left rein. So the horse comes off the left rein, comes off the outside left rein. Watch you with the right rein. Good. So the horse is straight. Watch you with the new outside left rein. Good. Super. Now I go to a galloping position because the horse, every horse, even dressage horses, also have to be worked in a light seat. We also call two-point contact. They have to be perfectly supple and obedient and balanced in this seat also, which is inclined forward slightly out of the saddle. Lengthen, shorten, turn. Lengthen, shorten, turn. Both hands. Compress the turn. Smaller on a spiral. On a spiral. Light seat. Super light seat for the horse's back. So the horse can come up in the back. I'm very hipped on the back. Light seat, body forward for the horse's back. So the horse isn't hindered in the back. And spiral. Light seat. I'll take a little break. This is very hot. I'm very old. I have to breathe. You'll see the horse doesn't sweat. The horse is perfectly content. You'll see her eye. She's perfectly content, but she is with me. Her mentally and physically, she is with me. She's not out there. On the flat, I use quite a long stirrup, not dressage long, but I use it at least 2, 3, sometimes 4 holes longer than jumping. For every foot higher jumping, you should shorten a hole of your stirrup, proper hole of your stirrup, not a half hole. Every foot higher, you shorten a hole. When a horse blows out like that, that's a great sign. That's not sick. That's a horse that's relaxed. I'll shorten up 2 holes. You always keep your foot in the stirrup and adjust the stirrup in front of your legs. You don't take the foot out because it's much quicker and much safer to keep your foot in the stirrup. Just like Bernie Traurig, I'm very anal, very particular, very obsessive with details, just like Bernie Traurig, who is equestriancoach.com. The first is the horse's thinking forward. That's first in riding. That's called impulsion, where the horse is not just active, but she's thinking forward. Now, as I approach an obstacle, I lean a little forward. This is for the horse's back, to lighten up the load on the horse's back, not to hinder the horse's back. Also, as she stretches her neck, I will follow her mouth. I'll soften my whole arm, elbow, shoulder, relax the fingers, and I'll go in the direction of the mouth where she stretches her neck. And the horse has to stay here in the same rhythm. You'll see my body is well forward, so I'm with the horse ahead of time. I let her stretch, but keep in touch that she doesn't rush or stop. The horse has to keep exactly the same tempo. Beautiful, beautiful. Active, active, but not hurried. Active, not hurried. Now she'll stretch, and I encourage her to stretch with this and this body. For her back, for her top line. Beautiful, beautiful. I have to have contact for control. Also in a galloping position. Now, short distance, take the horse out and change. Longer distance, short turn, short turn, inside leg. I get back here if I have to get aggressive. Aggressive, this is aggressive. But I don't want aggressive, I want smooth. And this is smooth. Half halt, inside leg. You'll see how supple my arm, elastic, supple my arm, but with a contact. Half halt, that you listen. A little aggressive. Oh. Lengthen, shorten, jump. Half halt. Just in front of the legs. Good. Good. Fast. Oh, oh, voice. Faster. 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 Oh. Hold. Good. This is a very, very special horse. Very special in her type, very special in her ability, very special in her temperament. Super, super horse. That's what I want to hear. That she's content. The horse is content. That. I want to hear that. I walked the horse out. The horse did enough. And I walked the horse out. On the buckle, it's very hot. And she's not going to bolt or buck or do something stupid. So I have the horse on the buckle. And this is the free walk. This is also a very important exercise. This is for recesses, resting, and cooling the horse out, free walk. But what's important here is the straightness, and you'll see right here that little touch that I have to remind her that at all times, I don't push a horse. I don't want to work. I don't want to work. The horse does the work. If I have to push, I give that brief little touch with my spurs, both spurs, that she is self-active. Self-active is the first stage of self-carriage. Self-active is the first stage of self-carriage. The second, of course, is the front, where the horse has to be self-carriage on the hand, not leaning on the hand. So what's important about walk work is the quality of the walk. That the horse is walking forward. There isn't any sense of stiff, resistant pace. That the horse is 1, 2, 3, 4 marching. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and virtually on her own. I have a lucky history because I had a great balance of American cavalry, which had a great school in Fort Riley. They were based mostly French and Italian method. And then I went with Timothy, and he was Hungarian German, also a little Italian in the Hungarian school. It's a very light edition of the German school, the Hungarian school. Then I had Richard Wittchen, who was an iconic German dressage man before the war, a god in Germany, Richard Wittchen. I had him, so I'm lucky because I had a great mixture of great horsemen. I had Gunnar Andersen, who was a great Danish. He was also a god of Denmark. He was a great friend of Herbert Rabin, very much like Rabin. So I've had a great mixture in my background, and probably because I always dealt with lovely blood horses, I am a very passionate devotee of the light seat, if it is done like Beezy Madden, if it is done like Ian Miller, if it is done like Gerko Schroeder. Marco Kutscher rides a beautiful light seat in the ring. You know, from every country, people with great sensitivity of the horse's back. They feel this hollow crush back here. And Gerko Schroeder is a great example in Holland because he's always light. He's always a little forward. He's slightly out of the saddle much of the time. Not all the time, of course not all the time. If I feel I have to get aggressive on the defense, I get here. But that's just for when necessary. I teach the horse to carry me. So you'll see till I get off the horse is going to be in free walk, and I am just very, very attuned that the horse is self-active behind. Self-active behind, and because the hind leg is under, the back is up, the ribs are out, the wither is up, the base of the neck is up, and the head is down. I don't need a draw rein because I put the head down with my aids. Every horse. Thanks everybody for joining us on EquestrianCoach.com. Thank you very much. Great honor, great pleasure to be in front of you.